Good evening, Al Pals. Welcome to Big Al Presents. And tonight, Big Al presents a Saturday night rewatch of the 1983 sci-fi fantasy classic KRULL, the film that came out the same year as Return of the Jedi and got crushed by it.
Of course, right. That's right. It did.
Yeah, KRULL at the time did not do very well. It has since in the years since has become quite a cult classic, actually, beloved by many for its amazing visuals. It's a great story. It appealed to the sci-fi fans. It appealed to the Tolkien fans and the fantasy fans, because it has a lot of elements of Lord of the Rings in it. I mean, it's got a giant spider. Mm-hmm. It's got a magical weapon, and all kinds of other stuff. Just a great film. I remember seeing it when 1983. I think it came out. What time of? Let me see. What time of year did it come out? I had my thing up. Came out July 29th. 2 months after Return of the Jedi, it got crushed. So, wow. Yeah. But I mean, like I said, in the years since, it has garnered much better opinions of itself. I do want to say, before I say hi to people in the stream, first, let me introduce my co-hosts for the evening. We have the Klingon cleric, Mr. Troy Bocelli. Welcome, sir.
Hello. And yes, when you mentioned a special weapon, it's a very Klingon-like weapon. There is a Klingon weapon that I'll talk about a little bit that is very much like the glaive.
With a name that the glaive is an actual medieval weapon that doesn't get a lot of play. It's a medieval polearm that's basically a one-sided blade on a long pole, and is the inspiration for the weapon I used when I fought during my medieval days. If anybody goes back in my on my channel and checks out my fighting video, or the first video I ever put up, I believe, it's kind of the inspiration for the weapon I used. A nice stabby, slashy weapon with on a long pole. It's like a big sword on a stick, basically. Also joining us, last but never least, the lovely netter of Netters Network, Miss Annette Pacelli. How are you doing, my lady?
Oh, I'm doing good, except I'm having some computer problems. So if I happen to drop off, guys, it's just my laptop hates me.
Well, same thing here. If I drop off, my laptop hates me.
I just started a couple of days ago where I started getting the black screen of death, and I've been trying to fix it, and it just has not been cooperative. So hopefully it'll work for me for tonight, so I could stay. But like I said, if I drop out, why my computer just wants to hate me today. And while I'm thinking about it, if you haven't already hit that thumbs up, please do so. It does help.
That's right. Please. Yeah, smash that like button.
The three of us on screen definitely want to hopefully get monetized at some point so that we can get new computers.
Yes.
We're the ones.
And I just want to say, I have my eye on you guys.
I see what you did there.
People know that we're filmed. They know why my avatar is the way it is. For Rel, the Cyclops, yes. Yeah. But before I begin, though, I'll get to the chat in a moment. Of course, today was a very sad day in the entertainment biz. We lost two icons of different fields, of course, and some may hold one or the other in higher esteem. I held them both in very high esteem. First one that I heard we lost was Mr. Regis Philbin, who was for decades upon decades an icon of television. And of course, I spent much of my time at 9 o'clock in the morning on the weekdays watching Regis, first with Kathy Lee and then of course with Kelly Ripa. And I still watch the show that he kind of grew out of his existence. So a very sad loss. 88. He lived a very full life. He is leaving a wonderful legacy in the daytime talk arena, and we also lost a horror icon, martial artist, sci-fi icon, Mr. John Saxon.
Yeah.
If anybody knows Enter the Dragon, he was in that.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I know him from Battle Beyond the Stars and
that's
many
right.
other things. Yes, he was the bad guy in that.
To me, he'll always be Maskatron from the $6 Million Man, even though he wasn't called Maskatron in the show.
Yeah, he was in there. Many will know him from Nightmare on Elm Street as the sheriff.
That's right.
Who kind of started the whole thing. Definitely, I mean, a long career. I mean, you look at his work. He has appeared in so many things. If anybody is a fan of Gene Roddenberry's Andromeda TV show that Kevin Sorbo was in, that was actually kind of grew out of, I believe it was called Planet Earth or something like that. That it was a TV movie from the early 70s that Gene Roddenberry did with a very similar story, but that concept kind of got morphed over the years into Andromeda. So the 20th century, the man lost in time kind of thing, the Buck Rogers-esque kind of thing, who kind of has to save the new world, coming from the past, kind of thing. But yes, Regis and John Saxon, rest in peace, both of them. Thank you for all the years of entertainment, for all the films that John Saxon's leaving behind. It's always sad, and we're going to have to do Battle Beyond the Stars, and I'm sure we're going to do Nightmare on Elm Street sometime. Either us or the Fan Man, somebody will. But I definitely want to do Battle Beyond the Stars. I'm not saying it's a great film, but it's a fun watch. It really can be fun. Yeah. And it's got the weirdest ship, because the ship actually has boobs. If anybody knows.
Oh gosh.
Remember that ship? It has boobs. It has cleavage and it has boobs. And really, if you look close, it kind of has nipples. But
wow.
It does. Hey, we all have
no, you know what? We'll have to watch it so that you can point it out to me.
I can show you a poster later. Okay. I'm not sure if it's actually in the film, but it's definitely in the poster. I do want to say, and I will say, for the sake of argument, Professor Geek had the first comment.
He cheated.
Troy was second, and Troy is upset because the Professor beat him. It was fair and square. Come on, it was fair and square. But after that, I really don't know. All I know is what I'm seeing on my board now, and it seems like Mr. Matchstick is the first one on the list here tonight. On the current state. I know a lot of people did it before, but I'm just seeing what I saw.
Well, the old one, I was third thumbs up. So
you were third thumbs up. Awesome. Well, awesome. Thank you.
Thumbs up are important too.
We have, of course, Troy is on here. We have Melissa Harris. Hello and thank you. We have Casey Scott. Wolf 10 Media is here. Agent Boomer is into his house. Sir Torrin Clegane, and the Professor, of course. Speaking of Kevin Sorbo, I know. Yes, Kevin Sorbo was in a movie called Kull the Conqueror. This is not Kull the Conqueror. Trust me, this is a much better movie. This is the Professor likes teasing me because the names are so similar. I guess any man who likes to start all the sentences with conjunctions just doesn't know any better. So we'll just leave it at that.
my participles.
What'd you say?
I said I like to dangle my participles.
Yeah, well, we all do. I mean, when you're doing dialogue, anything goes, because it's common language. It's language of speech. You're giving what the character says. If the character doesn't use good English or good grammar, and then that's how you write it. But I've given in because it seems it's acceptable now. Even though I learned as a child you weren't supposed to do that. But I guess I'll have to get over it. Accept the the continued degradation of our beloved language.
It's really funny. Many years ago, I used to work in a hospital, and I was a bunch of us were going to be going out to eat after our shift. So I was asking one of the residents, I was like, "Hey, we're going to go out to such and such restaurant after shift. Do you want to come with?" He goes, "With what?" I was like, "We're going out to such and such restaurant. Do you want to come with?" He goes, "With what?" And he kept saying that. I'm like, "Do you want to come with us to the restaurant? Like, what the frick is wrong with you?" He wanted me to actually finish the sentence because he was being that anal about it. I'm like,
you know what? We don't want you to come with us anymore.
At that point, it's like, never mind.
Never mind. But anyway, yes, we're watching KRULL. Came out in 1983. I was, well, actually, at this time, I graduated and was anticipating going to college. I was just probably a week or two away from college. So
Wow.
I was a young buck, or a young rutting buck, as they like to say around here. But it really is just a fun film, directed by Peter Yates, who he's done a lot of film. This was his only time he really dipped his toe into sci-fi. But he did things like Breaking Away, which I think he got nominated for, if not won an Oscar for. Things like that. He usually directed much more high end things. Well, at least later he did. I mean, he did Mother Jugs and Speed, for God's sake. He did The Deep, if anybody remembers that film.
Oh yeah.
So Year of the Comet, which was kind of a romantic adventure. So he's kind of been all over the place. But the thing I think one of my favorite things about this film, aside from the imagery, is the score. Yeah. It's a wonderful, just great adventure score by James Horner, who, if people remember, he did Star Trek 2. He's done. I'm trying to remember some of the other things he's done. Now I gotta look up his stuff.
While you're doing that, did you already acknowledge Jimmy the Philistine? I mean, Professor Geek in the house?
Well, I did give him DAP because he's making fun of the KRULL thing. So he can do all that he wants to, and we just
because he doesn't have a mic.
just wait till Bringing Up Baby. I'm sure we can find a few plays on that one. But yeah, James Horner, also known for Aliens, Titanic, Apollo 13, Braveheart, A Beautiful Mind, Avatar. I mean, he's just done so many iconic scores. And lost its. I mean, passed away at a fairly young age, 61. I mean, God, who knows what kind of scores this man had left in him. But let's kind of get everybody on page here. We got I got the movie pretty much starting at the very beginning, because there's a little bit of black that starts right before the Columbia logo comes on, but the score starts with the Columbia logo, so it jumps right in. So if you guys want to start there, I'm basically at 000. If you have the MP4, I'm not sure where it is on the DVD. Are you using the DVD?
I decided not to, just because I wanted to make sure I stayed in sync with you guys.
Right. Yeah, it's that split second right before the Columbia Pictures logo starts, and you hear that theme. So that's where we're going to. Yeah. Oh, it's just dynamic. It makes you want to pick up a sword and go swinging at things.
Right.
I mean, that to me is a good score. I mean, that's Lord of the Rings does it. There's a lot, like the Conan theme. Basil Polidarius does it. Just some great, sword swinging.
I do wish we could have gotten Sound Engraver in on this one. I think she would really like the music, even if that's all she was paying attention to.
I agree. I hope one day perhaps she will listen to it, or at least listen to the score, even if it's just the beginning credits, because That's like where the primary thing comes in. Fleetwood Mac founder Peter Green has passed. Oh man, well that's 3.
Yeah, that's 3 right there, right?
Terrible, man, terrible. 2020 strikes again. Okay, if everybody kind of get ready to get fired up here. Like I said, we'll start when I go count down. We'll start at 1. 3, 2, 1.
So, Sir Torrin Clegane points out that the guy who wrote this also wrote Every Which Way But Loose.
Oh,
really
I did not know that,
good
actually.
Clint Eastwood movie. I haven't seen that since it was in the theaters. I love that movie.
Yeah, and I equally love. Well, I actually kind of prefer the sequel because it has a happier ending.
Any Which Way You Can.
Yeah, Any Which Way You Can. Every Which Way But Loose kind of ends on a bummer note.
We may have to do like 2 weeks back to back, do a rewatch of both of those. So this movie, I want to share a little bit of my background with it.
First of all, here comes the glaive.
Right. Okay.
Flying through space.
So we'll obviously be talking more about the glaive when it's officially introduced in the story, but it's a thrown weapon, like a big throwing star, right? It freeze frames right there so that you can see it. I always thought that would make a great Klingon weapon. Sure enough, Next Gen comes along, and they introduce a weapon called the Kligot. And I'm going to drop a link for those of you that are like really interested. In the episode Q, I think it was called Hide and Q. Q creates a Klingon female. Yeah, go ahead.
First of all, if people are paying attention to the credits, we'll notice some familiar names like Liam Neeson.
Oh yeah,
and Robbie Coltrane, who is actually dubbed in the film. They do not use his voice. But,
we will of course point them out when they show up on screen.
Yes.
But anyway, so Q creates this Klingon female, and she attacks Natasha Yar with this 3-bladed throwing weapon called a Kligot. It's the only place that it's seen, but it's a great looking weapon.
Cool.
Very much like the glaive.
A funny thing about this film, when I went to college, we I don't know if it was the first year or the second year, they showed this film on campus, just a little student body, a little auditorium kind of thing. And the crowd, as the credits would go, everyone would cheer at every credit. And then literally at one time, and I don't know where, I forget exactly where it was, like they would cheer when they saw that. They would cheer at that.
Wow.
But then at one point, like this guy's name comes on and like say this, and everybody goes boo at the same time. Everyone had it in their mind to boo at the same time. It was such a funny moment. We were having a great time during that.
So was this well after the movie had been out for a while?
It was actually very, very quick. I think it might have been the year after. I think it was during my sophomore year. So it was like a year had passed. So because it's hard to get copies of films and everything.
Sure. So those of you that have been listening to some of the other streams, I may have already heard me tell this story, but so after this movie was out, and as Al pointed out, it didn't do real well in theaters because it was overshadowed by Return of the Jedi. But that's right around the time that cable TV was just starting out. Back then, we didn't even call it cable TV; we called it pay TV. And we had gotten it in our home, and it came with an HBO package. And HBO didn't have all the movies that it does now. It only licensed a very small number of off films, and KRULL was one of them. So KRULL got a lot of airtime on HBO being played over.
Yeah, I remember the days of HBO and Showtime when they literally would show a film like 3 times in a day, like 2-3 days a week. Okay, here they're setting it up. The army. Ah, the Slayers.
I mean, that's incredible armor. I don't know what the budget was on this film, but it was incredible looking.
It was one of the high. It was a very expensive production at the time. I do remember that. It's a very you could tell that's a miniature, but it's kind of so clean and white.
Yeah.
Which I like, because a lot of times you'll see like a castle or something and it looks like an old castle of today. People need to remember castles were built to look good.
Yeah.
And forbidding. They've fallen into ruin, but they were done now. Oh man, Lisette Anthony.
Right.
Look at that hair, man. That is a lot of hair. But she is a beautiful woman. Still is. I mean, she's aged very well.
What's interesting is that I guess doublet or whatever it is that the father was wearing. We just saw a video on that from another YouTuber who talks about like medieval armor and all that, and he was talking about how those studs on there. It's not what it is there's actually metal plating underneath, and those studs are to hold them the rivets to hold the metal plating on. For protection.
Yeah, coat of plates, sometimes called, or brigantine. Sometimes
brigantine, right?
Yeah. I had a friend of mine had a version of that. One of the guys that I used to fight he made a coat of what's called a coat of plates. Brigantine usually had much smaller pieces of armor, little smaller pieces, where a coat of plates was like larger.
Yeah.
Like usually across the chest and then like down the abdomen and across the back. And you just basically instead of getting into a big giant suit, you just kind of put it on like a coat. Usually his attached in the back, so you had to have someone put it on, but you could arrange it that that would attach in the front.
Right, and the fellow that was talking about his today, his fastened in the front so he could do it himself.
Wow. Yeah, that's all the sets too are amazing.
Yeah, and a lot of sets were built. I mean, like I said, a lot of money went into this film. Mr. Magic saying there's a reason people preferred to starve castles out. They were really good at what they did. You're right, and a good castle could last for a long time, especially if they were by the sea or like on a peninsula or something.
Yes, Wolf 10 Media. It was Shadiversity that she was talking about.
This is Kenneth Marshall. This is his first and only starring role where he gets top billing. Star Trek fans will know him as Lieutenant Eddington from Deep Space Nine, who kind of one of the ones basically started the Maquis kind of thing, I believe.
Gosh, that's right.
Yeah, except he was bald during that. I mean, Kenneth Marshall's hair did not age well. He was a good bad guy who loved to use references to Les Miserables, which I always found interesting.
And if Sound Engraver's watching, that's her real hair.
Right.
Yeah.
I always thought that Lisette Anthony very much favored Sarah Brightman. They have very similar
very
facial
much.
features and those eyes.
Those eyes, especially. Yeah, because Sarah Brightman just I mean, again, another very beautiful woman. And I like, and the thing is, these two are not on screen a lot
together very much, no.
But they have really good chemistry together.
And it's crucial. It really does set up the denouement of the story.
Because you need to believe this guy would almost like travail the earth to get this girl back.
Right.
And
Not,
I would, trust me, I would rip this. I would rip the stars from the sky and mountains off their roots to get to this girl.
right, and it's especially sweet because it is a political marriage, but they're very much in love.
But they do love each other. Yeah, it's like I said, the parents do not like each other at all, but they have brokered this and in process fell in love with each other.
Yeah.
Great lighting on their eyes,
yeah,
focusing on the eyes that are focused on each other. I think that was a very nice touch.
Light is very important, specifically the flames,
right?
Especially its relationship in the ceremony and the magic thereof.
Yeah, and of course, the beast does not want any of these two together. So we've got wedding crashers coming.
Another very Klingon storyline.
Yeah. It all comes down to the Klingons with you, doesn't it?
It does, but it's such a classic story, just like Kalis and Lucara.
Mm-hmm.
Here's our Obi-Wan character.
Where's Yoda? Looks like the swamp.
Yeah. I like the armor of these guys, which would very well into like an elf or something.
Yeah.
Very reminiscent of the Lord of the Rings that would come later. If you notice the symbol of Colin and Colin's necklace, Colin's father's necklace at the moment, which of course is, representative of the glaive, an ancient weapon, their Excalibur. Yeah, I like how the guards look at each other like, I got a bad feeling about this.
Right.
And you should. I like this. She takes fire from water.
Great little effect,
Yeah, nice little bit. Not the greatest effect, but very, very serviceable.
What I love is when they're interrupted and the way the flame goes away. You'll see it in just a second.
Okay, shouldn't his little flame stick still be doused because he put it in the water?
There was a couple people that had torches. It may have been a different torch.
The groom, he had put his torch in the water. It went out.
Right, and she pulled the fire from the water.
But she hadn't given it to him yet, but his torch was already lit.
Well, it made him relit. He may have put fire in the water, but then, or it could be a glitch. I don't know. It could be a blooper.
And so you guys were just talking over it, but as she put her hand down, the flame kind of spun away as if it was on like a cord or something. I don't know exactly how that's done, but it was just really cool and natural looking. Now that's creepy too.
Yeah.
That whole idea of that spider climb of theirs.
Yeah, not an effect. I'll say the Slayer's weapon, they got like the one shot, and then they had to go hand to hand, kind of. At least that's the way it looks.
Which is kind of neat because it's kind of, reminiscent of a musket firing. And,
that's what I was thinking.
And then, the bayonet.
One thing, if I remember about his sword, Colin's sword, it's like instead of a blood groove, there's an actual hollow. Like it's actually hollow. It's got a full cutout,
which makes it a much lighter blade.
Yeah, but I would think you could get it hooked on something too.
I also very much like that. He turns his side to his father, so his father can pull the dagger from his belt. Very much seasoned in battle, fighting together.
Yeah. And Mr. Matchstick is very upset that they called the throwing star a glaive.
Yeah, it is kind of odd.
Yeah, I know. And actually, when I first saw it, I didn't know any better, but I know what a glaive really is. And I can accept that this is another world that called that a glaive.
Well, and the other thing too is they're not calling it a glaive; they're calling it the glaive. It's a proper name,
right?
Yeah. It's like calling a dagger needle. It's not literally a needle; it's the name. Now, of course, those sparking effects tell me that's not inspired by Star Wars, right?
Yeah.
But there's so much Errol Flynn here too, you know?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, very much. Lots of buckling in the swash.
Yes. I like how you put that.
Whee!
Oh, no. The bad guys have the pretty girl.
I did feel too that their armor just struck me as very Giger-esque, you know?
Yeah, it does have that. Oh, well, the beast, is very
clearly, yes.
It's like, unhand her.
Certain amount of practicality there. I would go to my father, but he's clearly already dead. Nothing I can do for him.
All right.
Again, hardened in battle. Someone's graduated from the Flynn School Academy of Fencing. Yes.
Yeah. Mr. Matchstick just cannot get over the fact that they're calling it a glaive. It's like calling a dagger the arming sword.
No, like I said,
it's a different world. Just accept it.
I'm comparing it to the short sword that Ari uses in Song of Ice and Fire. She calls it needle.
Right.
Of course, it's not actually a needle. It's what she named it. This weapon, this whatever you'd call it, this throwing star, they called it glaive. I like too what's clearly a practical effect. The ends of their spears has
like sparkler kind of effect.
Yeah. Like a road flare, you know. But it's got that magical look to it.
An old man appears on a horse. Do you think he's here to help? I believe he may.
Right.
I've always thought it would be very cool to have a glaive. I would love to have a true glaive, but the glaive from the film, I think it would be, and you can get them. They're out there. People make them.
Yep.
And you can,
with
with removable knives. I don't know if anybody's done the little shtick, where they actually come out, but you can attach them or carry it without them, before it's activated. And also very very similar. If anybody remembers Beastmaster, they had that little throwing weapon in there too, which was also very Klingon-esque when you look at it.
I like the fact that we have someone who comes along to help him, and he doesn't have to remove the symbol from his father. Someone else takes it and gives it to him.
Right.
It's like, lie down, stay still, let me heal you.
And Freddie Jones, who later on in the film we meet when we meet the widow. What's the Widow of the Web? I believe is her name.
Yes,
she is played by Francesca Annis, who, along with Freddie Jones, were both in Dune the following year.
That's right. That's absolutely right, Mr. Matchstick. You gotta relax, okay? Yes, a sewing needle is not a weapon, and I have never been a foot soldier either, and yet the name Troy literally means foot soldier in Gaelic. Get over it. That's the way names work.
If you were unarmed and all you had was a needle, I'd use it to the best of my ability.
Yep, that could absolutely be used as a weapon, no doubt about it.
You have to present it more like this. My name is Nanette. Okay, you're Mr. Matchstick. Well, it's nickname, but still.
Yeah.
It's
how flammable are you, Mr. Matchstick?
Yeah.
Tell me that.
Yeah. It's
is your real name Matchstick?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a name. And names mean things to different people. So, my name actually means full of grace, mercy, and prayer.
It reminds me of,
it might mean something else.
But I love this. He came to find a king and he finds a boy. Wow, insult.
Well, but it's a call to action, right?
Yeah,
I mean, he literally is challenging him. He's not wrong.
Yes, you will. I am surprised Kenneth Marshall didn't get more roles at this time.
Yeah.
I knew he got this role because of his work in Marco Polo, which was out like a year or two prior. He played in a TV miniseries.
Cool.
But yeah, this was his only like lead movie role.
In fairness, though, the movie didn't do very well.
True.
Yeah, if things went the way they should, people should look at it and go, well, the movie didn't do well, but man, this guy's great. Let's give him another role. That's not how it works. They go, I'm not even looking at him. He was in a bust film. So
yeah, but
welcome to Hollywood, kid.
Look how many actors though have been in bust films and they're still, getting
still got roles. I mean, God, look
Hollywood logic. That's all I can say.
I mean, has Adam Sandler really had a hit lately? I mean, seriously?
Well, I'm thinking Jim Carrey. He's had some stinkers, and he's still doing good work.
I think Jim Carrey's reinventing himself a little bit as a supporter.
As a dick?
Oh, yeah, well, no, I'm saying I'm talking about the work, not the attitude.
Oh.
But I mean, he was great in Sonic. So yeah, sometimes you have to reinvent yourself a little bit. I think that would do him very well, is to go into that kind of supporting role.
A lot of actors are getting into the voice work. I mean, I don't know if it started with James Earl Jones, but people are realizing there's a lot of money to be made from just sitting down and reading lines.
Yeah, people are wondering where they filmed this. I think it was like in Italy and England.
Yeah,
was primarily where it was shot. But it's a beautiful scenery. I mean,
oh, absolutely.
Oh yeah, this looks like fun.
Yep.
I mean, some of those stones pick up some serious speed.
Yeah, look at that one. Woo! That would be cool 3D. Avalanche like that.
We were talking about 3D the other day. This wasn't filmed in 3D, was it?
No, it was not 3D.
Okay. Because there's a lot of scenes in here that would totally work well.
Oh, yeah.
3D.
Especially
the scene when he's fighting the beast with the glaive.
Yeah, the glaive. I mean, there's a lot of them that would have really worked well. Anything with the Slayer shooting at him.
Yes.
The fire, a lot of cool. This scene would have been spectacular in 3D.
Right?
But like the score, I just love the score. Da, 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 da. Very underrated score, in my opinion.
Yeah, I do like the music very much.
Yeah, I need to get this score. I'm sure it's probably very hard to find nowadays. There are several I still need that I don't believe I have, because I went through everything that I have, except for a few misplaced things. I don't think I ever got the KRULL soundtrack on CD. I might have it on LP, I believe. I didn't stop buying LP until about 1990.
Now here's another thing. This guy's climbing up a fairly sheer rock face.
Yeah.
With no climbing equipment.
And he's got to prove himself.
But I'm talking about the filming of this movie, man.
True. Yeah.
I mean, nowadays
I'm sure he has the proper safety.
Well, nowadays they could do it and they could brush it out in green screen or whatnot. But no, this is pretty real.
I'm sure a lot of it's, stunt.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's the stunt man.
Yeah, but he's got to earn this this weapon that he's going after. So Will Harris says Jim Carrey's become toned down. This is the hyperactive Jim Carrey. I like a toned down Jim Carrey. Sometimes as I grow older, the hyperactive guys kind of get on my nerves. It's like, calm down, you young whippersnapper kind of thing. I do become an old man with it.
Oh yeah, it's like I don't like things being really loud, so that's been my thing lately.
Right? Yeah, yeah.
It's like in my old age, my hearing has become sensitive, and it's like, no, I don't like the loudness.
Great use of lighting here.
Uh-huh.
I don't know what the actual gel is that's the stand-in for the lava, but boy, it looks realistic,
Yeah, it is, and it's.
Let me just stick my hand in there.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna stick my hand in lava and grab this thing that looks like a star.
And I was going to point out too, again, this is. I think this is playing off that theme from earlier, taking the fire from water and handing it between each other and literally holding flame in your hand,
just don't fall in.
Yeah.
But you saw a little bit of flame on the water too, so it's like, yeah.
But I do like the reveal of this thing.
Yeah.
How it just, the outer casing crumbles.
Yep.
Bleh.
And that light just seems to come from nowhere. You know? I mean, he didn't have to sandblast it or nothing.
Yeah, well, just remember Conan when he just like hit the sword on the rock and knocked all the dust off.
Exactly.
I wish it were that easy. I've got a Viking sword that needs some serious work done to it.
Now, you notice when he was holding the star originally, he was holding it from the bottom of
that should have just impaled his hand.
Yeah. Then the next time you see it, his hand is moved over, so when the blade comes out, it completely misses his hand. And
another another similarity to Lord of the Rings, that eye imagery.
Yep. Kind of like the Eye of Sauron. Definitely inspired by that. Wolf 10 Media said the hero must make a leap of faith. And that's exactly what he's doing. He's like, I trust that I'm going to thrust my hand into this and not be burned.
You'll know. Don't use it till you need it. It's like, he got this brand new toy, can't even use it. Thanks, Dad.
Yeah, exactly.
Age Brewers, didn't Blade have a weapon like that? I don't remember. It's been a long time since I've seen Blade.
Yeah, Blade had a two-sided, I don't know, like throwing dagger kind of thing, or two blades that were hooked, almost like a batarang kind of thing.
You were right when you said the Obi-Wan character.
Mm-hmm.
He is definitely he's kind of like the Obi-Wan / Gandalf of the film.
Exactly. And like both those characters, guys, this is a rewatch, so spoiler, he sacrifices himself later because it's not about him.
Right.
He's just here to support this guy.
He is here he is here to help Colin get his queen back, to fulfill the prophecy.
Exactly.
Now, I've seen a lot of these movies lately with the guy having to go through all these hardships to rescue the girl. Is this the one that's got the giant in it?
It has a Cyclops.
Cyclops. Okay, yeah. Okay, so it's the same one I'm thinking of.
Right.
Yeah.
But he's still a big guy, so he's kind of a giant.
Yeah. Yeah. The guy who plays him, Bernard Breslau, is like 6'7", and he wore lifts to make him even taller.
Yeah, he was like one of my favorite characters in this movie because
right?
about him.
There are a lot of fun characters in this film. Like I said, we're about Rel, um, the outlaws. There are a lot of fun characters in there. The wizard, Ergo the Magnificent.
Right, the David Batley's character.
Speaking of,
Mr. Turkentine.
Yep.
Help, I'm drowning. So if you weren't already thinking along these lines on seeing this film, at this point, the guy, the crazy, magic user, start thinking, you know what, this would make a great D&D campaign.
Yeah. Well, this was actually one time they thought about incorporating it into the D&D world and coming out with like modules on it.
They should have done.
Like the Dragons of KRULL was a possible name. But Gary Gygax says if they did, they would never told me about it. So,
yeah.
But it is. It's very much. It's a hybrid. It's sci-fi. It's D&D.
Yeah.
It's a very, very cool amalgamation.
In fairness, geese can be pretty vicious.
That is true.
Oh yeah, you ever been chased by a geese? Those things bite and hard.
He does need a better way to keep his spells.
Yeah, that's why most people, have spell books.
Yeah, he's like a level 4 magic user, maybe.
I guess.
Level 5.
Who's not maxed out on his intelligence yet, so he still has a chance of spell failure.
Wide of vision. I love how he introduces himself.
Right.
Especially when he meets Rel later and they have a talk about their names. Hey, Sandgraver in the house. Just wanted to pop in and say hi. Have to get up at 6 a.m. So you did turn in and have a good rewatch. I really hope you listen to this film one day. Listen to some of the music. Great soundtrack from James Horner. We've been talking about it a little bit. Apparently, Bernard Bresslaw was supposed to play Frankenstein's monster in Hammer's Curse of Frankenstein, but Christopher Lee got the part instead. Hammer loss was the gain of the Carry On films. Now, here's a little secret about the Beast Fortress that we did not know. It changes its position every day. So you never know where it's going to be.
Dun, dun, dun.
Da, da, da.
Which is a crucial point in the story.
Very much so. They've got to find a thing that changes place, and they don't know where it's going to be. And when they do find out, they have to get to it before the sun rises.
So we were talking about, the idea of using this in D&D. Obviously, we're not the only ones to have thought of that. I'm dropping a link for those of you that are D&D players. Geeks and Sundry has stats for the glaive, the tri-sword from Sword and Sorcerer.
Oh God, yeah.
Mjolnir from Marvel, Chainsaw Hand from Army of Darkness, and the grappling gun from Batman.
The tri-sword. Definitely got to do a Sword and Sorcerer rewatch too.
Right.
And remember that film that they advertised at the end? They finally made it.
You were saying I had no idea that they had.
And it's terrible.
Oh, that's so sad.
I know. Tales of the Ancient Empire.
like, they made film. It was horrible.
It's horrible. Yeah, this is like direct to video, barely. You know, it's like someone filmed on their iCamera and put it on the internet, kind of thing.
Oh,
But it's got Kevin Sorbo, so hey, how bad could it be?
I mean, that would be like if they finally made History of the World Part 2 and it was Melissa McCarthy that made it, you know?
Yeah.
I mean,
And Liam Neeson.
Yeah.
In the house.
oh, now it's a piggy.
Hundred's not enough.
Robbie Coltrane. Instead of a big shaggy beard as Hagrid, he's just got the little mustache.
Right.
He's a little baby Hagrid.
Hey, Mohammed, good to see you. Yeah, we're doing great. If you're going to watch along with us, let us know. We'll give you a timestamp.
Yep, we're at 35:27, or at least I am.
Yep,
that's exactly where I was.
and see, I love this. This is the young king, you know, working on his diplomacy, right?
I mean, and he's a desperate man. He needs men.
Yep.
Look how young Liam Neeson is. Right? Oh my god. I mean, that's what Qui-Gon looked like when he was a Padawan.
Yeah, this is before he got his daughter kidnapped like 12 times.
Yeah.
And had to go after her.
Freedom run away. Sorry.
You're in town, yeah. Yeah. So timestamp is 36, 47, 48, 49, 50. 36, 53, 36, 54.
And I really like Alan Armstrong as the head of the brigands here. Porkwill. He actually has a very nice charisma about him, as a, you know, even though he is a.
Well, even yeah.
But I like this as he. Nope. No, he doesn't look like the Lord Marshal. I like they're brigands and rogues, but they have a code of honor.
Yep.
They're very much like the guys who are in Scoundrels, which we'll be doing the next 3 chapters of next Thursday. You like that segue?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I love that. I love that. That's like one of my favorite lines in the movie. Do you hear him, man? We're now an army.
Yeah. Gooseberries.
Now, he forced himself to a small meal.
Whoa, you are roboting bad.
About the man too.
I like how he faints. Fates dead away. Can you still hear me, Troy?
Sorry, internet connection.
Oh, okay, that was you. Okay, I just was making sure it wasn't me.
No, it was me.
Which means there was space flight at some time.
Or interdimensional travel. But
well, that's true.
But
magic, yes, magical
because
travel.
of the way you see the castle come through space, you're probably accurate with the space travel, though.
Like I said, it could be travel by magic,
Spelljammer type technology, yeah.
Well, I've never done Spelljammer, so I don't know. That is a beautiful scenery.
Yep. Yeah, looks like we lost Netter. Keep an eye on the green room. See if she pops back in.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
I think that's when my internet was flickering on me.
You're welcome, Mohammed. Your art's getting really good, dude.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it. I was like, dang, that's good. This is so D&D. I remember doing something like this in a game I played.
I mean, I guess it's a bit of form follows function, because I think D&D was always intended to be very cinematic. So which follows which? They're both similar kinds of storytelling.
A nice little cave. Not only is it a nice little cave, it's a hidden little cave. And the hole in the ground, there lived a seer.
And I suppose you could draw a comparison between the seer and Yoda, maybe.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. Mohammed, timestamp I've got 42, 39, 40, 41. So 42, 42, just then. Life, the universe, and everything.
Twice.
Still no Netter. Nice little skylight to sit in.
We seek the Black Fortress. Well, I seek the bathroom. I can't see anything. And for Sound Engraver's benefit, if she watches this later, I'm guessing that's fake beard and hair. Just guessing.
Tempted by those gemstones there. You got an axe, dude. Use it. Chip away.
A Slugworth Sizzler? Scrumdiddlyumptious?
Sure, like, takes the big one. Not impressive, but adequate. Adequate. I do like what happens with this.
Oh yeah.
I remember the first time I saw it, it was like, whoa.
Right. I even like the way the effect comes in like this. It looks like, like a grainy TV screen,
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't like being spied on.
Yeah. Oh, Melissa Harris asking, what happened to Mara Jade, also known as the caffeinated commentator? She got married last weekend.
Oh, did she?
Yes, she did.
Well, I'm happy for her, I guess.
Yeah, I still hear from her once in a while. She got married and is going to go back to college a little bit, and still teaching, except doing what except as best they can anyway. Still no netter.
Not that I've seen, no.
Yeah, I haven't seen her pop in yet. Unless I'm just not seeing it. Nope, just you and me.
She did warn us, though, so.
Yeah. Congrats to Mara Jade. Finally found her Luke Skywalker. Well, I think Luke's the lucky one in this situation because we all know her, how such a nice and sweet of a girl she was.
Let's hope it's a Luke Skywalker and not a Jake Skywalker.
I like that, and I like the little giggle.
Yeah,
here goes. I just think that's so awesome.
It's like he knew all along, and he was just waiting for the reveal.
Yep. I'll teach you to try to steal my gems. I will let her know, Melissa said her and her son wishing her luck. Underwater Slayers.
Get ye behind a tree, blind man. Yeah, you thought these swamps were treacherous just as they were.
I love the true appearance of the Slayers.
Yeah. Some kind of a wormy thing in a suit.
Rather Lovecraftian when you look at it. Netter is letting us know her computer kicked her out. She is trying to restart.
Okay. Yeah, we kind of figured.
Coleman was right saying a band like that was as good as an army.
Yup. It's like, you've heard of me?
I love that. Or just with those who already are.
To give them weight.
I've always loved his character.
Yeah.
Because he's so... He's almost got a regalness to him.
I love the detail that they put into the sculpting of the eye prosthetic, because they've got the creases on the sides of the eye. They gave him they shaped the brow ridge the way you would expect, a single eye to be. They really put thought into it.
Yeah, they didn't just cover his eyes and pop an eyeball on his forehead. They actually did some anatomical possibilities, but leaving the fact that they do look like at one time they had two eyes.
Yep.
Which they've established. And you find out why later.
Mm-hmm.
Ha ha ha, Professor Geek making a joke.
I feel like you're being a little...
Yeah, it feels like I'm being a little myopic in my love for this character.
Well, that is a pretty cool looking outfit, though. I also like the fact that his guards are all dressed in white here.
Mm-hmm. I love how the hallway closes.
Yeah.
And again, the eye very much coming into play.
I like Wolfie saying, "Don't let the sadness take you," like the never-ending story. Yeah, that trope of quicksand.
Yeah.
Wait here, old man. I'm going to go help these dingbats that walked into the swamp.
We're going to leave the most important person in this party alone.
Yeah, exactly.
Wes Harrison, big Adult Swim showing classic Family Guy. Yeah, well, they restarted the season over, so... Yeah, the first few seasons of Family Guy, I've kind of been there, done. Been there, done that feeling with it. Professor Geek, yes, we will be doing Never Ending Story, I'm sure, eventually.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's another one we'll need Sound Engraver to talk about. What is the name of the group? Lamal?
Yeah, Lamal.
That song is just
Here we are.
Definitely in my head now.
Yep.
If the last season of Stranger Things didn't put it in my head, right?
Exactly.
Now here we go. It's like if you just forget about the pack, your life is a little bit more important.
Yep.
But the problem is, even if you hold on to him, he can't keep his head above water. He has nothing to support himself.
Yeah. This match is saying, fun fact, quicksand, you can float on your back in it. Yeah,
that's
pretty
true.
much. Quicksand's not as deadly as movies would make you have it out to be.
Yeah. Real quicksand is a non-Newtonian fluid. So you're actually, that whole thing about, whether you move or don't move, you're just dealing with two different aspects of it. If you move quickly enough, it's kind of solid and supports you. If you don't move at all, it's kind of like water and you can float on it.
You'll sink right in it. Yeah.
No, that's you, Seer.
That is such a sad death,
right?
For some reason. I mean, it's like this poor old blind guy, and he gets choked to death by a guy who looks like himself. Melissa Harris wondering when we're going to do Troll and Troll 2 and the Leprechaun trilogy. I'm sure eventually. I definitely want to do Troll and Troll, at least Troll. I don't know about Troll 2, but I think it would be fun to do both. Maybe on the same night. Have a double feature.
So Wolf 10 Media says he doesn't want to try out the theories about quicksand. But if you're interested in Wolf 10 Media, I just dropped a video link for you to check out later on that explains the concept behind non-Newtonian fluids. You've probably seen it before, but check it out. It's kind of fun, and it's the kind of activity you can play around with and see how it works.
Is it the Mythbusters?
It's not the Mythbusters, but it's the same one where they put the goo onto a speaker and you can see how it reacts.
Well, they did one once where they made like a big tank of it. They would run across or try to walk across and not quite make it.
Oh, I seem to remember that. Let me see if I can find that one.
The Lakeness said never gives up her dead. But this is giving up her dead.
Okay, now I'm dropping that one that Al was just referring to from the Mythbusters, so you can check that one out too. Don't say you don't learn nothing from our streams.
This one, I wonder how many cosplay action this film has gotten over the years. There's some good cosplay stuff in it.
Well, I was looking at the armor and thinking, Foam and Warbler, I could probably do that.
Yeah. The Emerald Seer would be a good one. Rel would be a good one to get the right prosthetic.
So Muhammad is asking, what do you guys think of Valerian Coat P? I don't know what that is.
City of 1,000 Planets.
Oh.
I enjoyed it. I remember watching it. I enjoyed it. It's not the greatest film in the world, but it was a good matinee type of a film. And it has Cara Delevingne, who is so hot it hurts sometimes. That was a sweet little moment. We're your family now. Now they have to go to plan B. Not one he wants to do. His Mines of Moria, as it were.
Right. That's another interesting trope. The power that a name has, right? You have power over somebody if you know their name.
Yeah, even when I was in a medieval group, we all had our super. We were in a group called the Skraelings, and we had what was called a super secret Skraeling name. Everyone had one. We knew each other's names, but no one outside of the group knew what our names were to each other. And I'm not going to say mine because it's super secret.
Well, it would only be us that would know, though.
I know. Wolfton Media is asking about the monster film Q. Yeah, I remember that. The film about Quetzalcoatl in New York City or something. Starts Michael Moriarty, I believe. Q the Winged Serpent, I believe it's called, also, or something like that. Well, Timmy is also, he didn't hate Rihanna in the movie.
Little beagle.
I think, is it a beagle or basset hound? I think it's a basset hound.
Oh, you may be right.
Yeah, because he's kind of got short.
Oh, you're right. You're right. You're right.
Basset hound. My grandfather used to have beagles, and they're a little taller, a little longer of leg.
True.
Well, this is do classic Godzilla and Kong films. We did King Kong. I do want to do the classic Godzilla.
Did we do the 76 Kong?
Not yet.
We should.
Jessica Lange.
Oh yeah.
Oh, dooba dooba dooba.
Homina.
No. Score very reminiscent of Willow. Oh, the Crawling Eye. That was a favorite of mine. Also known as the Trolling Bird Terror. Casey Scott's asking which Godzilla I'd like to do, Gojira or Godzilla. I think I would. Well, I'd like to do both, but if I had to choose, I would almost have to go with the Americanized version, which I just think would be a funner rewatch because you could point out all the weird little things that are wrong, like when they try to blend it. Although Gojira is a much better film, but
Gojira,
lot more of the nuclear war allegory. I like that. How Reynolds just has this great respect for Ergo now being the dog. I like it. He may be a jerk, maybe a bumbling fool, but he's got a heart of gold. One of your wives.
Was Liam Neeson also in Excalibur?
Yes, he played Gawain.
Right.
He had a jousting duel with Lancelot. Another rewatch we need to do. There's so many films that we need to do.
We'll just do a series of Liam Neeson films, right?
See, I don't really. I know you like to do series. Me, I just kind of get something in my brain, and I just want to do it.
Do a rewatch.
I like the style of cooking over an open fire. I've always loved that.
Wolf 10 Media is asking if he ever did a rewatch. Would I come? Sure, I would if if you think it's something that I could contribute to. Sure.
One of the wives.
One in every town.
Yeah, and Not is his first. That's a nice looking woman, though. But it's a nice little plan that's going on here. I love how it looks like a clawed hand,
and it's moving too.
Yeah, it's a very magical building. I mean, fortress. Things are going on all the time,
and that the way it plays with scale, I love that.
Yeah, and you mentioned, like I said, Giger.
Mm-hmm.
It's very. I mean, look at that hall there. That's right out of Giger's head.
And the way it plays with dimensionality, I'd almost say kind of like Escher.
Yeah, Escher as well. Taunting her.
Okay, so Netter's listening on her phone. She doesn't look like she's going to be able to get back on.
Oh, I'm sorry, Netter.
I did send Patrick a note on the on my Facebook page, letting him know you can't stream until he can help us out. I mean, it really is like a nightmare, right?
Yeah.
I mean, his use of magic is like something from the dream world.
and I like how they keep the beast very like an unknown entity.
Yeah.
I mean, you get the idea what he looks like, but you don't know how big he is,
right,
or anything like that. You know, he's vaguely humanoid and ugly as sin, but exactly how big he is, you don't know.
And that Lucifer-esque temptation. I can
Right.
take any form you want. I can give you anything you want.
And he's not exactly pushing her away either.
Well, because he's at least trying to be nice about it, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I said no, but I don't want to be mean about it. See, and that's just it. You know, that's part of it. She's like, I'm trying to comply, but you were so nice to me. I don't want to hurt you, you know?
Yeah.
And I got to be honest with you, it kind of does make me want to know more about this beast.
Uh-huh.
Why is he doing this? Why does he care?
Yeah, he goes world to world to conquer it.
Yeah, why is it so important to him that unless, there's more to the lore of this place, like she's got a magical ability that he's trying to tap into or whatever.
Well, the full prophecy is that a king will take a queen of ancient name, and they'll rule their world, and their son will rule the galaxy. True. So maybe he's trying to implant himself into that prophecy.
Right.
And he's trying to halt it as one. Maybe he's also trying to, bear the son who can control the galaxy.
True. So another story I wanted to share from the early days of cable TV. There was a show on Nickelodeon, and I can't remember exactly what it was called, but it was hosted by Leonard Nimoy, and he did like behind the scenes of different movies that were popular at the time and stuff like that. And one of the movies that he did, he talked about KRULL.
Oh, cool.
And so he showed some of the behind the scenes of like this and the stop motion animation that was used for the giant spider and so forth.
Yeah. And that ominous music starts. And it's great stop motion.
Awesome use of stop motion again, right?
Yeah.
I honestly feel like it's sad that we don't get that anymore because you don't get this level of creepiness from CG. We talk often about the uncanny valley. Right. There is value to that uncanny valley sometimes in an unnatural circumstance like this. You want that uncanniness when you're dealing with a giant spider or an animated skeleton or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, you look at Lord of the Rings, Shelob is terrifying.
Yeah.
But there is something about this thing.
Right.
And he calls her name, and her name is Lissa.
Yep.
Ancient name. So that's where Lissa, the redhead princess / queen, whatever, her title may be. That's why she is of ancient name.
Okay, I guess I better get moving.
Yeah. You ain't got long, buddy. I'm walking in the spider web. What's that? Who did that? Gwen Stefani walking in the spider webs.
Oh, I don't know anything about modern music. Sir Torrin Clegane, thank you. Stand by, lights, camera, action. That was the name of the segment that Leonard Nimoy did. Wow, great memory. I did not remember that. Evelyn Hampton, thank you so much for dropping in to say hello. Going to see us next week for Time Traveler's Wife. Great, thank you. Looking forward to that.
Hello, Evelyn. Nice to have you here. Please hit the thumbs up.
Yeah.
Those who haven't, please hit the thumbs up.
The other thing too is that this is stop motion animation, so that spider is some sort of a puppet or statue figure. The detail is incredible.
Yeah, and the fact that he almost looks see-through because I think he's like considered a glass spider.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Time's up, old man.
Yep. And the realism, because that's something that spiders do, that bouncing on the web, Yep. Oh, Sir Torrin Clegane says he was honest about looking it up. It's not that he remembered, but still, I appreciate it, man. A little bit of use of a reuse of the animation, but I honestly don't mind because I know how much work goes into that.
That is stop action is such a difficult craft.
Laborious. Yeah.
Oh man. If anybody ever watched Parks and Rec, I mean, they have a segment on there where the guy gets fired. He starts to do a stop motion thing, and he's been working on it for a long time, and he thinks it's this epic thing, and he plays what he has, and it's like 5 seconds long. He's like, "That's it." Her makeup had like, God, how many I forget, like 12 appliances that they had to use on her.
Yeah.
So pieced together to get the effect right. Yeah, Crispy saying is no doubt. Yeah, that was Gwen Stefani's group, no doubt. I should remember that. I used to be a music manager, for God's sake.
And the other thing about this scene, it implies so much history between these two characters. You could almost imagine a prequel about them,
Right, yeah. Well, there was talk about doing a sequel. KRULL 2 was a possibility until the film kind of just didn't perform.
Yeah.
But they did there were a lot of games that came out. The film was heavily marketed, and there were a lot of sundry little, like I said, games and items and figures, but it just didn't. Things tailed off. Francesca Annis, who is a gorgeous woman. But you don't really get to see her like with her hair down. She's just this beautiful Italian actress.
Love that accent too that she has. But yeah, you get to see she gets a much better role in Dune, that's for sure.
Yeah. Lady Jessica.
Yep.
But she is. She's a very regal woman.
Yep.
What is the secret of the Grail? Who does it serve? This asking Wolfpen Media.
Mm-hmm. And not only do you get the implication that there was this, history for them, this great story that we would love to have seen, but the parallel to the current story,
right?
There are these two young people that are starting their life together. Let's give them a better chance than we had,
And of course, having the one woman, having the younger woman having her same name.
Yes.
It's like it's a chance for her younger self to live again.
Right.
And she's going to give her that chance.
And see, and
making the sacrifice.
Right. She's making the same sacrifice that he is.
Right.
I mean, that is incredible,
Yeah. They're both sacrificing for love.
And a little bit of regret, too.
Love and regret, but they're sacrificing for the young couple's love in the name of the love that they used to have.
Right.
So it is a very, very telling sacrifice.
Yeah.
But I love, he cannot stop the sand. That sand will keep going. And when it's gone, so's his life. And
I didn't mention it when it happened, but I also really was always struck by she was able to see herself through his eyes because he allowed her to.
Yeah.
The magic of his love allowed her to see herself young again,
Well, I'm just saying, when she hears the name, she suddenly turns into Batman and asks, "Why did you say that name?
Why did you say that name?" Yes. Great little imagery. Whereas he turns his hand back, the dust accumulates in the web as he's turning around.
Yeah.
I like that. Not sure even if it was intentional or not, but it's great.
You better run, old man.
And I always imagine the spider's like, well, I'm going to get a meal one way or the other, darn it.
Yep.
Yeah, that's kind of tragic. That's it.
Yep.
I said what I needed to say.
His life is fading away with the last bits of sand. Like that, my race is run. That's a nice little metaphor.
Yeah, it does make you think of like the runner of marathon,
Yeah.
Yeah. And again, that's why I make the parallel to Obi-Wan. It's like, I'm done. I did what I had to do.
Yeah. So Torque again, you're right. The lady voicing Lisa Anthony's character, Lissa, is Dr. Walsh in season 4 of Buffy. Yes, Lindsay Krause, for those who don't know. Yeah, little fact I forgot to bring up. I get her British accent just a little too much, I guess, for the producers, so they dubbed her over. Not the first time they'll do that in a film. Like, so Robbie Coltrane's dubbed over in this. In other films, it happens too. Flash Gordon, he's dubbed over a lot.
Well, that was because he didn't come back to do.
Yeah, he didn't come to do the voiceover. But was it Greystoke? Andy McDowell, her character was dubbed by what's her name? Great actress.
There's a lot of them.
I can't think of her name now. She was in Jagged Edge. She cooked the money in that movie. Made, the one who went crazy when Michael Douglas dumped her.
Don't know, but I'm looking it up
Glenn,
real quick.
Glenn Close. Glenn Close.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah, she did the voice for Jane in Greystoke. The Fire Bears. Clydesdales, for those who don't know. Beautiful, strong, majestic horses.
That I will always associate with Christmas time.
And beer.
And beer. Yeah, exactly. Good point.
And the Super Bowl.
Right.
I think they had, like 15 of them? I'm not going to count, but I read somewhere that.
Something like that, yeah.
Because they're not easy horses to really find to use in this capacity.
Yep.
But they calculated, oh God, where'd I read it? They were talking about how far the horses had to go. And let me get the information on it. Was on IMDb. Because they have a long distance to cover, and the fire mares are the only ones capable of going that fast. And hold on. The fire mares could travel 1,000 leagues in a day. A league is defined as the distance a heavily armed man can travel in an hour, usually 3 to 4 miles. That means a fire mare can travel about 3,500 miles in a day at an average speed of about 145 miles an hour.
Wow.
So that gives you how fast the fire mares are.
That's pretty fast.
I always like that little bit of information. Yes, could be 1,000 leagues.
Okay. It does say 16 Clydesdales horses trained for months in order to play the fire mares.
Yeah. I love swinging on them. For those who forget, remember the Cyclopses gave up an eye for the power of prophecy, but the only vision they are ever given is the time of their death. So he knows he's going to die, and he's supposed to stay there and accept it. and die peacefully, or something very bad will happen. Kind of like that.
That's so sad. We had
I
no
know
time.
we had no time. I mean, he realized what a good friend and a good person he was, and they really didn't have the time to really get to know each other as well as they could. We know why they're called the Fire Bears. But great traveling music.
Yep.
This is the green screen effect, not the best in the world, but serviceable.
I love this helicopter shot
Yeah.
during the middle of the day, but gelled with a blue gel to make it look like it's darker.
Yep. And I like this little effect. It's a far away thing, but it looks cool like that. That they can fly.
Yep.
Who needs reindeer, buddy? We got Fire Bears.
Well, in fairness, those reindeer would have to cover a lot more ground a lot faster.
That's true. That's true.
Okay, Sir Torrin Clegane, you got me on that one. I don't get the reference. Scott Summers?
Cyclops.
Oh, gotcha.
You didn't get that?
No, I didn't.
Well, tell me, give me a Land Strider any day. What's a Land Strider? Am I missing something?
Are those the things from the Dark Crystal? The stilt creatures, I think, from the Dark Crystal.
Oh, okay.
Yep, I guess I was right.
And the sun is about to rise.
Get inside quick.
Yeah, and I think they do have to be inside.
I wonder if it's like the TARDIS. Unless you're Captain Jack, you're not going to survive on the outside.
Well, no, remember I can't remember her name now. Big eyes, short. Clara.
Okay.
Clara did.
Well, she's the impossible girl.
Yeah, that's true, but still, she was able to hold on.
That is true.
Yeah. That's why it took.
Of course, Doctor Who isn't always consistent.
True, but that's why it took 300 years for it to get back to Trenzalore.
Right.
All of us come in to help. Can't just accept your fate when there's still fighting to be done.
Well, and if you think about it, the implication from what they've said, he's making a big sacrifice too.
He is, yeah. Because he knows he's going to die. If he just stays there, he dies peacefully.
Mm-hmm.
But if he doesn't, then it will be a painful one. Yeah, poor Haggard.
Yeah.
Chris P. Trenzlore, we need a new destination because I don't want to go.
Right. Good one, Chris P. Thank you. Even though there were some good episodes that came out with the what's his name? Capaldi era, I like to think that they stuck with Doctor Who died at Trenzlore. That was it. He got his 13 incarnations, and that's where they ended it. That's my headcanon until they give me a reason to believe otherwise.
I still think Capaldi's probably the best Doctor if there ever was.
The best casting of a Doctor, I agree.
Yeah.
With what's his name? Tennant maybe being a close second.
I mean,
I like that he gets shot. Like and he's got that look like
screw you.
Oh, you're gonna be sorry you did that.
Because remember, there is an ancient hatred between the Cyclops and the Slayers.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
He hates the Slayers, and he's going to make sure he gets them. Oh.
Yeah.
The one thing you could tell by the way he's holding it, how like it's kind of plasticky.
Yeah.
It's kind of wiggling.
Yeah.
Poor Rel.
But a worthwhile sacrifice, right?
Definitely.
I mean, he held it long enough for some of them to get through.
He got him in.
And him, even though he knows there's no chance, he didn't want to give up, at all.
Yeah. And now we're somewhere else. I like how they never really reveal where they are. They just accept the fact that they'll be able to get home.
Wolfson Media makes a great point. So far, there's been no Wilhelm scream. Oh, spoke too soon. Very clever, Wolfie. Very clever. Good timing.
Like he's bringing up the rear.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh,
not that way.
Lead him.
I like the fact that earlier on we saw them, the Slayers get killed, and we saw the worm effect and all that. And yeah, they can't keep doing that every single time, but you get that sound effect. So
Right.
in your mind's eye, you know what's happening, you know.
Because you get the impression. I mean, like I said, the brigands, the rogues, are like dying left and right.
Yeah.
You kind of get the impression that they were really good men, no matter what they were in for.
Right.
They were
Right.
they were good men at heart, and I kind of appreciate that they kind of.
And from a narrative standpoint, they kind of are expendable, right? But you don't feel like that. You mourn their loss. You care about these characters. They were developed enough.
You're like, no, wait. I mean,
up or down, one or the other.
Yeah, and I like how he pulls his sword out at the last moment.
Yep. Oh boy.
I like that. And then the Slayers start backing up.
And they're like, yeah, maybe not. Mr. Magic says, no, not Liam Neeson. Well, you know, they didn't have to save him. Media, why didn't they go to new hosts? That would have made them more menacing. You know what? Maybe that's something they would have followed up with in sequels. That's actually not a bad idea.
Now all this time after all he went through to get it, now we finally get to see him use it.
Yeah.
Schnick.
Yeah. Shing. I'm coming for you, girl.
Yep. Like I said, she's worth the trouble, man. I do like the glaive, that how it's like you control it. It's just not a throwing thing, that there's a magical essence to it.
So it definitely comes back to you. That's the important thing.
Whoops.
All right, this one.
Yeah.
I like the angular cuts that it's doing. It gives you the impression that it's cutting through something that's, got a crystalline structure.
Yeah.
We are going to die.
Yep. And that guy likes his knives too much. It's going to cost him.
Yeah, forget the dagger. Don't do it. Don't, you dumb. Don't, dumb. Although part of me would be thinking, is there any way I can hack through these? They look like they're wood. Can I break them?
Yeah. Well, they're probably like a very,
yeah. That's gotta hurt. And he drops it anyway.
Yeah. They are pretty much stuck.
That's, yeah, not a great place to be.
I like how they did a little reversal of the film to show the catch.
Yeah.
The Beast is pissed.
And see, that's kind of cool too. It's like, okay, she's been there a prisoner, but she's got some info for him. She's already got some intel. So she's done some scout work for him. She brings something to the party. She's not just being rescued.
Like I said, you got to grab that sucker just right.
Yeah, and the way he grabs it is just how you'd expect it, right?
Yeah,
because
you got to grab it from at the top.
Yep,
from the top or the bottom. Unless, of course, you make the blades retract.
Now you get the impression of scale.
Yeah.
Okay, did you know he could shoot fire out of his mouth?
The Beast bleeds.
If he bleeds, you can kill him.
But I also like this. I don't have to hold my hand out like a doofus. I can just think about it.
Yeah.
That is a frightening image, whoever created it.
Right. And I assume it's good makeup effects, but you know, the distortion and whatnot may cover over a multitude of sins. Who knows?
Yeah, that's true. Whoops. It's stuck.
It's stuck. Yeah, that happens. And it's the old movie trope. Don't go close to the monster that isn't moving. Or if you do, take a big sword with you.
I like how it's almost no. Goes back in. That's what you get when you stick your toys in the things.
That's what she said. Well, I really like that glaive. I have to go after it. And you know what she's thinking? Don't do it. Don't
do it. Don't do it.
Let's just get the heck out of here.
I want my glaive. Glaive or girl? I'm picking the girl.
Well, and you know, in his mind, he's thinking, I want both. Uh-oh. It was all a ruse. Okay, now let's get out of here. Zoinks.
That is a bad situation for those boys.
Yep, you're out of luck then, man. Guess you're going to die.
Nope. It's us.
Yeah. There you go.
It's the power of love.
Right?
And the ceremony is complete.
Yep.
And now they're married.
And he's ticked. Yeah, not even afraid anymore, pal.
Flamethrower.
Yep. Yeah. He doesn't get the glaive back though, does he?
No. Or not that you see, but if he has like a psychic control link to it, I'm sure it'll like show up. I'm sure it would show up again.
Well, how did it end up in the lava in the first place? There must be a story to that too. So yeah.
I'm sure there is.
Muhammad,
it's kind of like Excalibur. It'll show up when you most need it.
Oh yeah, exactly. Muhammad says, "I hope I have a wedding like this." It's pretty epic, right?
I do like the symbolism, though. You know, taking the change. It's kind of like lighting candles, kind of thing, but it's like done with magic in their hands.
Not that there's many others left.
Yeah, not many of them.
And now we're going to have to get out of here before the place burns to the ground. Or burns to the sky, I guess.
Poor Paul.
Yeah. I can only speculate how they filmed that scene. I'm guessing it was a real tiger and they probably drugged him.
Possibly, you know, if you have a really well-trained tiger.
And you know, and he's thinking, yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah.
Netter's in the green room. She's finally up and running.
Hey. Oh, let me. Better late than never.
Hi, guys. Yeah, so my computer finally let me back in. Can you hear me okay?
Yep, we can hear you.
You're there.
Glad you made it.
At the end of the movie?
Yeah.
Yep. Well, you know, it's exciting end, you know?
That's right.
Well, if I found the right spot, we're about at 1 hour 53-ish.
Yep, 153.09.
Oh,
yep.
I got it perfect.
Yep.
Cool.
See a lot of stuff falling.
Yeah. I mean, I actually have it literally perfect time with you guys, so I timed it right. Run across the bridge.
A lot of miniature work here, a lot of green screening.
And why are they stopping?
I know. It's like, why did you stop on the bridge? Keep going. Run a little faster.
I mean, here's the thing. I understand they think, well, what if it falls out from under me? But the fact is, you have to get out of there.
Yeah.
Even if it starts to crack, jump, run. You have to get out of there or you're going to die.
Oh, Professor Geek, you're so sweet. He said, I'm wondering why the room seemed brighter. Aw. Because I'm back. It was so sweet.
The room got brighter and the chat just got darker because Professor Geek showed up. Not that.
Right, exactly.
That is so wrong.
I know. I joke. Remember, we jest with friends we already have.
We jest because, well, the professor deserves it.
Wolf Chin Media said, well, they just learned a little parkour.
Right, exactly.
Parkour.
We just didn't have a name for it back then.
It's called jumping a lot.
Yeah, running and jumping with style. They were in such a hurry to get into this place. Now they're in such a hurry to get out of this place.
But I like how it goes back
to the eye. Space. Yeah. See, again, this would be awesome 3D effect.
Yeah, like I said, it's all going back into space.
Yeah.
Okay, how do they possibly get down the mountain that fast?
They were very motivated.
And they're probably close to the bottom.
Well, there's that, but how did they cross all that distance? Well, again, very motivated, lots of adrenaline.
Or maybe the magic you used, like teleportation or something.
Boots of blessed acceleration, don't fail me now.
Yes.
Now, see, here's where I'm thinking he could have gotten the glaive back if he thought about it. Everything being disintegrating and
right. There is a thought like maybe it's left behind because it wasn't part of the ship or anything.
Yeah, or the glaive flies away and goes to rest another day.
Yeah, exactly.
So the next time it's needed.
I like how they're all just sitting on the grass chilling like, yeah, we're just going to watch this spectacle.
Right, because if his son is going to rule the galaxy, he's going to have to go out into space at some point.
Yep. Like I said, and however they do it, like I said, via teleportation or spell or even astral projection. Then we won.
Then we won. I like that.
Yeah. Still doesn't quite believe it.
Yep.
It's like, dude, seriously, you're the king?
And you are now the Lord Marshal, pal. Yep.
Shall rule the galaxy. Epic music swell into the credits.
Yeah. This is a movie that really could do with a sequel, though.
So is Galaxy Quest going to be next?
Yeah, right.
No, we've got the next ones kind of figured out.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, we do have it figured out into August, don't we? In fact, we're getting to that point in the show, so I better open up my little handy dandy sheet.
Yep. So me too. Well, I hope everyone enjoyed watching that. If you didn't watch it, I hope you enjoyed listening to us watch it.
Yeah.
Oh, stunt coordinator Nick Armstrong, very popular name if people know stunt people. Speaking of the stuntmen, look at the climbing sequence done by Lorenzo Lorenzi. So that must have been filmed in Italy because it was an Italian stuntman.
I guess so.
And the London Symphony Orchestra.
Yep.
I think they did they played the scores for like just about every movie back then.
Oh yeah, well, every big movie pretty much. If John Williams was involved, that's who they gave him.
And that was some great stuff, right? I mean, that music. Go with what works.
Professor's like needed more sorbo.
And just a pinch more cowbell.
Yeah, and it did have a bell. The little kid had bells on his
on his staff. Yeah, exactly. Good choice. What do you remember what it was that triggered your decision to do this one?
I just like the film KRULL. And it kind of links with Forbidden Planet because they had the planet of the KRULL.
Oh,
and now we have
okay. Okay, that's fair.
In the credits it does say there's an Italian location, so
there you
were
go.
Italian and British, and English.
And then the Lanzarote location.
Yeah.
There you go.
And it ends as it began with that choral.
Yep.
Thing. So the score is a very solid score. I think, like I said, I think Sound Engraver would appreciate elements of the score and how it was done. But like I said, if you remember the very beginning, over the Columbia Pictures, they had that choral, and that's how it ends.
Yep. Man,
and that
great movie.
That is KRULL.
Okay, so
definitely a favorite of mine from the old days, which is basically how I fit things in. I play old favorite movies that I want to watch and kind of share.
So I was sharing about that one being on repeat on HBO. Another movie at that time that was in the HBO cycle was a movie called Firefox with Clint Eastwood. Did you see that movie?
Yes, Firefox. Or Firefox.
Oh,
that's right.
Was it Foxfire? Firefox.
It was Firefox because Foxfire is something else. Yeah, about with the Russian plane.
Yes.
Yeah, that was a cool film. I like that.
That's another one that we may have to do a rewatch of because I don't think most people have seen that one.
I do remember seeing that over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Thanks to cable.
Yep. Yeah.
That one. What was another one that I saw a lot of for some odd reason? Midnight Express was one that was popular on cable back then about the guy who ends up in a Turkish prison.
Mm-hmm.
Very brutal film.
Of course, Porky's on the late night rewatches. Yeah.
Porky's got a lot of play.
Yeah.
We'll have to do a Porky's rewatch one day. I do have Porky's. I found it.
I
got Porky's and Porky's 2. I don't think I have Porky's 3 yet. I'll have to check. I don't think I have Porky's 3. But yeah, the Porky's would be fun movies.
There is something to be said for those old rated R comedies. Yeah.
I mean, it's like I said, when you think the early 80s, that's when for me, I was coming of age. I was like 15, 16, 17, 18, during 79 to 83, those were my high school years.
Yeah.
So those R-rated films, if you got your mom or your, to take you to an R-rated film like that was cool. And your mom didn't sometimes know what she was getting herself into. But yeah, my mother like kind of that kind of stuff too.
My mom was pretty. My friends all said she was the cool mom. I mean, she was like, okay, it's just boobs, whatever.
Yeah, my mom was pretty cool about it. She didn't have an issue with it. And of course, when you turn 17, you didn't need your mom. But at this point of the show, we start talking about what's coming up next. Well,
and what's coming up next?
Tomorrow night, Mr. Matchstick has his Weeba Watch. He's watching
something called Goblin Slayer.
Goblin Slayer episodes 1 through 6 on Mr. Matchstick's channel tomorrow night. Monday night, the lovely and talented Sound Engraver will have I believe at this point it's a Q&A. I think is what is planned.
Which has been a lot of fun. I've really enjoyed that.
It's a lot of fun. Getting into the mind of Sound Engraver is a fun thing. So I think she usually starts between 9 and 10. Not quite sure. I'm sure she'll when she gets that up. We'll figure that out. And on Tuesday night, we are no longer on Tuesday night.
I think we're calling it classic film Tuesday nights.
Are we calling it Tuesday Classics?
I think something like that.
Okay, we need to, he needs to come up with
a screwball classic comedy called Bring It Up Baby. And although I'm dropping the link for Professor Geek, it seems just redundant because I imagine that every single person that's here,
everybody here has that link.
I would imagine, although I am also going to drop the link. Please, if you haven't, join us on the Facebook group, even if you, in quotes, don't do Facebook. It's totally worth it. Ask Sound Engraver. She'll tell you. She didn't do Facebook until this.
Now she's a full-blown member.
Absolutely.
Tuesday Night Classics is what Professor Geek is calling it.
Tuesday Night Classics. Yeah.
I'm sorry, it needs more alliteration for me, but it's descriptive. It's what it is.
Well, there's no day of the week that starts with a
Bring It Up Baby. Bringing Up Baby with Cary Grant and Katharine Hepburn, a classic. Nothing on Wednesday. Thursday night, we are doing the next installment of Star Wars Scoundrels. I forget what chapters they are. I want to go 20. Oh yeah, so 20 to 22. 20 is it 20, 21, and 22? I believe. I think so. I'm pretty sure. I think that's what it is. So those are the next 3 chapters, and then the week after we're going to be finishing it. So we're
2021 and 22, Professor.
Yes, we are getting close to the end of Scoundrels. So that's going to be a sad day. We're going to be doing, I believe, Dune. I think is kind of the tentative next book that he's considering. And then the next rewatch, Friday night, the Fan Man will do something. And of course, Tuesdays and Thursdays at around 11 in the morning Eastern Standard Time, the Fan Man will have the Second Cup Cafe. Always a great time. Great show. It's a great show. And next Saturday, we are going to be watching. We're going to continue the time travel series. Let's say on my channel because with the situation Annette's having, let's just put it on my channel. The Time Traveler's Wife. This is one where again, the book is better, but the movie isn't bad, and I think it's pretty good. It's definitely a great time travel story. That's Eric Bana, and who plays the wife?
Yeah, isn't it the girl from The Notebook? I can't remember.
Yeah, that's who I think it is. I can't remember what her name is. I got Dakota Johnson in my head, and I know that's not who it is.
Rachel McAdams.
Rachel McAdams. That's right. Rachel. Yeah, Rachel McAdams. I get those two confused. I mean, I know them separately by look, but I get the names all conflittered.
Yep.
But yes, so just let people know some of the upcoming rewatches for the Saturday nights. I always like to let people know a little ahead. On the 8th, we're going to be doing Sound Engraver is going to be doing her next, and it's going to be the classic Disney film Fantasia before Disney became the super
crazy. Yeah. Exactly.
And then following that, on the 15th and 22nd, we're having the 2 Bill and Ted films. On my channel, we're doing Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure on the 15th. And on the 22nd, Troy will be doing Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. So, and that'll be setting up for the release of the next film, which I hear is not only going to be in films, but will be in video on demand. So if you can't get to a theater, it looks like you'll have a chance to see it.
It's starting to look like we're going to be entering a new era where video on demand is going to be releasing the same time as the cinemas.
It's going to be a thing. And if you're wondering what we're going to be ending the month on, the month of August on the 29th will be on my channel, and we will be watching, because they never say die, The Goonies. Another 80s classic fun film that that'll be a lot of fun, I think, to do. The Goonies. Love that film.
And real quick, I'm going to, because he just posted it, Mr. Matchstick just dropped his rewatch for tomorrow. So I'm going to drop the link.
Yeah. Also, just a few notes. Those who may not have joined us in the last couple of nights, who are wondering, yes, my mother came home Thursday. She is doing all right. She's getting around. She's slow, but so far steady. Knock wood. We've got a lot of family is bringing food over, so she doesn't have to cook. Going to be doing a little setup, and we're looking into a new home for the both of us, actually, because it would really behoove us both to find a new home. We're going to be applying to a senior center. We're going to get all our paperwork straight tomorrow and get it in. My cousin's going to run it over on Monday. We actually have some family that are there, and they love the place. It's a nice little place, and hopefully we'll get in sooner than later. But right now we're getting by, and it is nice to have her home, and just hoping everything continues to go all right. Keep us in your prayers, because like I said, the next few weeks are going to be a little crazy with trying to get stuff together, get things thrown away, organized, cleaned up, and ready to start a new chapter in the life of Big Al. So there may be a little section I might miss as far as just let you guys know as far as rewatches or anything that I might normally do. I'm not sure how long I might be without something, so we'll see. Hopefully it won't be too long, and hopefully it'll be pretty smooth. So but that's what's going on in the life of Al, and I'm going to try sometime this week to do an afternoon with Al. I haven't done one in a while because things have been crazy. I haven't done one in over a month because with Mom gone, things have been screwy, and I just haven't had the chance. So I'm hoping to have one of those one day, a nice little rundown. Ask me anything. I'm, like I said, usually an open book during those things, and love to share, love to hear about what's going on in everybody's life. I'd like to thank the Pacellis, both Troy and Nanette, for the short but significant time she always gives. I'd like to thank them for joining us tonight. Do you guys have anything you'd like to add or say? Or
I'm just glad you invited us tonight. I mean, This was a lot of fun, even though I couldn't watch most of the movie. I got to hear you guys talk about it, and it's funny just listening to the way you guys were describing stuff. It's like I can picture it. So it's like it was even fun for me to hear it when I couldn't see it. But I'm on temporarily right now. It's probably going to kick me off again, but I do appreciate you inviting us. I had a lot of fun.
There are a couple people in the stream that have noted that when it's a rewatch for them, when they've previously seen the movie and kind of know it, they don't even need to watch it. They can just listen along with us and kind of even know what it is that we're talking about.
And that's why I like doing some of the older film. I know a lot of people don't want to sit down and watch the film again, but they kind of dig. For some reason, they kind of like listening to us.
Yeah,
which is great. I mean, we are, like I said, we are a small but powerful group of now 12, I believe, or so. Which, like I said, the Al Pals. There are not many of us sometimes, but we are mighty.
Yeah,
and I do appreciate everyone for joining us tonight. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend, Sunday ahead. I hope you guys are staying cool, because I know it's hot all over the country. If you are down in Texas, I hope you're staying safe, because I know they're getting hit by a hurricane.
Yeah.
At this time. I don't know if it's downgraded. And I've got a lot of it's supposed to be a very active hurricane season, it seems, and I'm hoping we don't get hit before we move, because we're getting leaks when it just sprinkles. That's how bad it is sometimes.
Oh gosh, that's not good.
Yeah, I got a leak at my door sometimes, but we're getting by. So But like I said, so Mr. Matchstick tomorrow night. Sure, he's going to have a lot of fun, and please watch him. And of course, Sound Engraver on Monday, and I think most of us will be back on Tuesday for Bringing Up Baby. So I hope everyone has a great day, a wonderful night. Stay cool, stay awesome, because, well, I know you're awesome because you're here with us.
Huh.
So
there you go.
Take care, guys. Thank you for joining us.